Oh.
Are you glad to be out, baby? Hi, Dookie. Oh my gosh.
All I can think of is it's the poop chute. You know it's good. If you get out of a pipe out of the mountain. How did you trust all these people around the gold? Well, that's satisfying.
I know. We are on our way to Chicken right now, but we just had the best time in Tok. We stayed at Tok RV. They have an incredible car wash, which was absolutely necessary after taking the Alaskan up and through those rainstorms.
There was stuff just cemented, not just all the bugs that seem to attract even more bugs.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Like when you stop, just swarms of bugs come after their friends. I don't get it.
I don't either. One of the reasons why we stayed at Tok RV is that it's super easy access to Fast Eddie's, which we heard lots of reviews on. So pizza there is incredible. If you are staying in that RV park, make sure you order a pizza. And we also happened to have a little FOS Crew Meetup, which was wonderful. Jim and Ellen and Ed and Sharon came to meet us for breakfast. It's so fun to be able to meet up with people in places like this. So we were really excited that we were all here at the same time. It's one of the things you're gonna find when you come to Alaska is you're gonna meet people and then you'll end up meeting up multiple times all the way through your trip. One of them was headed out, one of them was headed in with us. So I'm sure we'll meet up with them again a couple times before we head out.
Up in Chicken, we're meeting some more friends that we met all the way down in Key West. So if you watched any of our Key West videos where we go and volunteer at the SOS Foundation, they've gone every year with us. It's so awesome to see them up here. They purchased a property up here last year in Fairbanks, but they're currently work camping on BLM land.
Yeah, so we're headed to West Fork Campground to hang out with them. It's kind of crazy that the last time we saw them was in Key West. I'm not sure that there's any farther of a distance that you can travel in an RV in the US, so we're really excited to see them. They have loved living in Alaska during the summer, and they're gonna show us some new things that they've learned and that they've figured out some really cool places. Most excited about the possibility of panning for gold.
Yes, I've wanted to do that my whole life, and it might actually come true. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to being off this road.
Do you see us just like bouncing all over the place?
Now that we're in Alaska, there isn't any like super long drives. Maybe 6 hours is your longest drive if you're not going like to the top of the world or whatever it is.
Yeah, and we've talked about that. That was actually something that was on the list, but we've heard that currently the roads are so bad that we might not actually make it in this. So we're probably not gonna attempt the Arctic Circle on this trip. We'll see.
But Chicken, we're going to Chicken, going to see some friends. Looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh.
Someone in there?
No, it's got stuff on it. I don't think so. It's got like a flag hanging off the outside of it, so it looks like somebody's been here already. Thankfully no one was inside that vehicle. That happened a little while ago.
That's scary.
It was really scary. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this site. Wow. I don't know if I've told you guys this yet, but one of the things that I really like about the backup camera on the Lineage is that it has a microphone, so Corey can actually hear me talking right now, which is super nice. Babe, back end is gonna come towards driver just a little bit. Keep going. Keep going. Back. Stop right there.
So we made it to West Fork last night. We are going with our friends Shaun and Ana. They're going to take us on a chicken adventure. We're going on a tour of a dredge and we're going to do some gold panning. We're going to strike it rich today. Our site's over there. So the camp post right here. Looks like he's locking up for the day. So yeah, let's get this day started. Come here. Yeah, buddy.
A beautiful view.
Well, if you don't, then I
Shaun
forget about
rolls.
it. Yeah. So this is the main action in chicken right here.
This is what they call downtown chicken. So he's got a cafe. He's got good breakfast. He's got good food.
Yes, and bakery.
Yeah. And we can stop in there. He's got a little store. This is the big chicken gold camp.
So this is the third business in town?
Yeah.
All right. I think we've seen it all.
We have.
Yeah.
Chicken Creek.
So they do
out.
wood fire pizzas out here.
Was it a good ride, honey?
I like this little entrance. Oh, look at all those swallows. Maybe they're not swallows, I don't know.
So the Pedro dredge, it was not called the Pedro dredge by the company who owned it, which was Fairbanks Exploration Company, or FE Company for short. In 1938 they built this dredge specifically to mine Pedro Creek, which is 20 miles north of Fairbanks. Meanwhile, they were always on the hunt for more dredging ground, so they sent a geologist over here to the 40 mile to explore the 40 mile. When he came back, he said, chicken looks to be a viable possibility. It doesn't have much gradient to the creek. There's a lot of claims there. We can probably buy out the existing miners. So they set about doing that. 39 and 40, they bought all the ground. There's local coal. They were going to mine coal and power chickens. They're going to build a power plant and power everything with electricity. But World War II came along before they got that done. And that shut down mining everywhere for the war effort. And it wasn't until the 50s that they got back to it. In 1959, finishing Pedro Creek, they disassembled this dredge, brought it over here to chicken, and mined 2 miles of the creek. In the winter of '67, they decided that they weren't going to continue. They still had more ground to operate, but we were on the gold standard, so the price of gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. And we were in Vietnam, so we had inflation, so they determined that they would cease operations for the time being. So they boarded it up, locked it up, left the caretaker here until we leased the creek. Had that not happened, I don't know exactly what would have happened to it. Probably the same thing as all the other dredges. But consequently, everything's on board. It is probably very unique in that way. You can't find a dredge that is more complete than this dredge on the road system.
Oh.
So this is a conventional bucket line dredge, which means it's a floating plant that digs up all the stream, rivers, and gravels to extract placer gold. It swings back and forth as it's digging. There are bow lines up in the front that attach to either side of the pond that slowly swing it back and forth, pivoting on one of these two big I-beam spuds that hangs off the back, cutting about a 100-foot wide pond. Inside, the material goes through a trommel. It's a revolving cylinder of punch plate. Material is sized and washed. The coarse material, the oversized material, goes up and drops out the hole, and then the small material goes through sluice boxes where the gold's captured. So basically, they just dug a pit, they constructed the dredge in the pit, flooded the pit, floated the dredge, and from that point on, it moves the pond with it, filling in the pond behind, digging out the pond in front.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this might be a dumb question, but did anybody live in this, or did they live in camps by it?
They had a camp with the old town of Chicken, which is across the road. So let's go to the front and then we'll go on board. These two strings of buckets, which are composed of a total of 64 buckets, holding 3 cubic feet of dirt each, go around this thing called the digging rig. So it is hooked together into a loop after it's put on the digging rig.
Oh my word.
It's like a chain on a chainsaw blower. They stripped all the ground in front of the dredge, so they used bulldozers to remove all the vegetation, exposing the permafrost. Once that starts to thaw, because it's 50% ice, it just turns to soup. And so if you wash it off immediately, it just washes away and you can keep exposing the permafrost. They use hydraulic giants like these three in the middle of the field that swivel back and forth and up and down. Just continually washed everything until they got down to the gravel. And that might be, depending upon the creek, Chicken Creek was probably an average of about 20 feet of overburden. Some creeks are much, much deeper. They all had to be removed. The gravel's frozen. This wasn't big frozen gravel, so they had to thaw the gravel. So they drove 3/4 inch thaw pipes down, injected cold water from this pipeline into the ground every 15 feet across the pay streak and every 15 feet going up the valley. So hundreds of these points, all hand driven. Let's go inside.
I imagine it's quite loud.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's it. Well, I meant, yeah, those are all bones from this property when we mined this property. Dredging operation, FE company uncovered tons and tons and tons and tons of bones, mostly when you're hydraulicing, and it doesn't break them up like modern day equipment does. The University of Alaska has an immense collection of bones from Chicken Creek and Lost Chicken Creek, as well as the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History, the Toronto Museum. I mean, they're scattered all over. Tons and tons of bones, all preserved in the permafrost from earlier times. These are the two generators that power the dredge. These were not on the dredge when it was on Pedro Creek in Fairbanks. It was powered from the local power plant, which powered all their operations. So they ran a line 20 miles out to Pedro Creek and they powered this dredge from shore. And then when they brought it to Chicken, since they didn't build a power plant here, they added these two cat generators. So these are vintage 59, everything else on the dredge is vintage 38. Their daily consumption of fuel for the whole operation was about 600 gallons of fuel a day. This enclosure surrounds the trommel, which we'll see when we go around the back of the dredge. The bottom's open, so as it's turning and the material's dropping through the holes, it's delivered into this center section. Water is added, a slurry of material runs down over these riffles in these sluice boxes and continues down into the pond behind the dredge. The riffles are just wooden blocks. They have a slope to each top of each riffle going downstream. That creates a bit of a vortex as the water runs across. That keeps the material depositing in these openings loose, so the gold can drop in and work its way down and the lighter material is displaced and goes on down the box. They processed 120 yards an hour. And they ran 24/7. They ran for 2-week intervals before they cleaned the box. So during that time, this fenced area is locked for security reasons. One person had access. They would send in their cleanup crew from Fairbanks who handled all of the dredges. And they would shut down for one shift, pull all the riffles, and run all of the concentrate through. There's a screen up here at the top where my water bottle is that further screens the material. The fines are delivered into that drum, which is an amalgamation drum. It has mercury in it. Mercury has an affinity for gold. If you drop a piece of gold in mercury and you pull it out, the mercury coats the gold. You can't get the mercury off without burning it off. So it makes it easy to capture all the little fine pieces, etc. They extracted about 58,000 ounces of gold during the 8 years they were here. Trommel, which is turning 68 revolutions per minute. Largest holes in a punch plate are this last ring. That's the nugget ring that feeds the last shortest box down there in the sluice box. So you can capture a gold nugget up to about 1.5 inches in diameter. If the hole is relatively small, if they lost an occasional nugget, so be it. So anything bigger than 1.5 inches goes on up the trommel. So everywhere, or up the conveyor, everywhere where these dredges have operated, if the creek contained any sizable nuggets, they likely went into the tailings unless the guy that was stationed back here, the deckhand, happened to see it. And then we don't know what happened to it. But,
That sounds like a good job.
well, it's not a good job. It's not a great job at all, because this was his little metal seat to sit on for 8 hours.
Oh, Lord.
He was mostly monitoring the trommel, because it's just sitting cradled in drive tires. It doesn't have a positive engagement, so it can slip. It's metal on metal. If it slips, then everything in there has to be shoveled out in order to get it started again. Yeah, what to do. So this is the primary bank of winch levers that we use to operate the dredge when it's digging. And you lower it till it starts engaging the ground, and you slowly swing across the face of the pond, cutting about a 100-foot arc. The rear pump over there is for the trommel, and this pump provides climbing for the other 3 pumps. There are camels, Siberian antelope, as well as woolly mammoth, saber-toothed tiger, giant cave bear, on and on and on. Any questions? Okay, questions.
Thank you very much.
That was amazing. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Amazing the ingenuity that went into trying to get
Crazy. So this thing essentially was floating. It made its own pond just as it kept on going, and it just went back and forth and back and forth. Every 15 minutes they were moving 6 feet. These drills that the girls are by right there, before this whole operation even showed up here, they would pre-drill core samples or whatever to figure out where the gold was, how deep they needed to go, how far down. I forget the name of the dirt on top that they remove, but I'm sure I can find it. So this is quite the operation. I filmed a lot of what he said, but it's gonna be hard to show all that. So I'll show what I can, but this guy knows what he's talking about. He was actually here for when they actually moved this.
Yeah, he said it took about a month. It's crazy.
Which is it's really crazy. Just scooping and scooping and scooping.
It looks like a ride, like an old Disney World ride or something.
It really does.
I feel like you just sit in it and go for a ride.
I don't think you'd like that ride.
No, probably not.
You might survive, go through the tumbler, out the poop chute in the back. Oh.
Are you glad to be? Oh, baby. Hi, Doogie. Hi, Doogie. Hi, Doogie.
It's been years.
This is great. Okay, so I tried to explain, the front end of the operation, how the material even gets into this. Well, once it's inside, on either side of this are the sluice boxes. Huge array of sluice boxes. That was guarded in the middle there, and it was only emptied every 2 weeks, which is crazy. I think that's constantly the question, like, how did you trust all these people around the gold? And essentially, you did. What a wild operation to see this behemoth function. Now, I'm sure I didn't describe it exactly right, but if you get a chance to come up to Chicken, do this tour. It's really interesting. Here it is. No, they're all, cluckers. Get the chicken. Does it say what this is made of? Recycled high school lockers. Okay. All right, this is a good place for a selfie.
Chicken was an absolute blast. We are now at Jack Wade Wayside, and this is where we're gonna try our hand at a little bit of gold panning. Especially after getting all that history with the dredge and everything in Chicken, we're definitely excited to try to find our gold here. We're gonna come and have a little picnic here. This is a really great stop. This is a public area that's owned by BLM where you can actually pan for gold. So if you are on your way through to Alaska and you're taking Top of the World Highway, this will be a really fun stop to try your hand at a little bit of gold panning. From mile 82 all the way up to like 85, 86, this is the place where it is public to be able to pan for gold. If you didn't know, you can't just go anywhere in Alaska to try to find gold because people actually own different sections and they have claim to that, and you could get shot. It's actually legal to shoot someone if they're on your claim. So don't just go gold panning anywhere. Make sure that you know that it's public and that you're welcome to be there. We're really excited to get started and to learn a little bit about gold panning. Honey,
We're gonna find it.
you're doing it.
We're gonna find it. Make sure we're not discarding anything goldy.
Goldie.
Dad, you're not going fast enough.
I don't want to spill our gold.
So we got 3 different size classifiers to kind of sift through and get stuff down to the smallest pieces.
Like that trommel that we watched in the...
Sure, yeah, in the dredge.
This is what's going to stop the gold from coming out of the pan. So when we get our dirt in here, we get water put in here. So gold will be the heaviest thing in there. So it's going to sink to the bottom. So you're going to put your dirt in there, get it wet, and just shake it around.
Yeah.
These will catch the gold and wipe the dirt away.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna win. I know it.
We're gonna win.
You want to
care about
Okay.
Pedro, come here.
You're shaking all that gold's going to the bottom. Drain it out, so now you can see like the bigger rocks are coming up to the top. When you're taking the rocks out, you're not throwing the rocks out of the pan, you're washing the rocks out of the pan.
Okay.
So just do it and then pull it straight up. So putting it in and pulling it straight, see how it's making the dirt go away? Mm-hmm. And these ripples will still catch it. So do that a couple times. Keep shaking, let it come out.
Okay.
Duke's like, oh, come on, I'll stop the gold from coming out. That's a good boy. Yes, you. That's a good boy.
See, like when the sun's shining, you can kind of see like a flake of gold like right there.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's there.
It's in there.
That's a piece of gold right there.
That is a foot, yep. You find some, baby?
I'm rich.
Let me
Right
see.
there on my fingers, proof.
There's some gold.
Take everything,
All
Dad.
right, so what do we put that in?
Don't put it
Oh, I
back.
do have the stuff. Let me go grab them.
Lil, you dropped that, you're dead.
Don't drop my fortune.
It's her fortune too. That's her future. That's your inheritance. Don't drop it.
Stop this love. Can't nobody stop this love. Can't nobody stop this love. Can't nobody stop this love.
How's the mountain water?
Taste the minerals.
I want to taste the minerals.
It's too cold. Or the amoebas.
Whatever.
Here, give it a shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. That's good. Good water. Oh, I'm sorry.
You know it's good.
The white pipe. You only filled up one?
I can refill it. I'll refill it. I'm gonna save that for my
So cold.
green drink.
I was trying to drink it really fast.
Take the Nickerson's gold panning, they said.
It'll be fun.
They said.
All right, we're at the top of the World Highway, picking some fireweed. We're gonna make some jam or jelly.
We're gonna make jelly, fireweed jelly. For those of you who don't know, fireweed is a plant that grows up, one of the first flowers that grows up after a fire in an area. But in Alaska, once these flowers bloom all the way to the top and then they're done, that is the official end of the Alaskan summer. So it's fun to...
It's like a calendar.
Yeah, exactly. As you're driving through Alaska and you get through the summer, you'll see the fireweed start to be all done. So it's fun to watch. We're in the early stages of summer right now, according to the fireweed.
You got plenty of time. Plenty of
Tons
time.
and tons of time. So here's our findings. You ready
Yeah.
for this?
Oh my gosh.
Look at all the gold.
We're on our way.
So rich.
We are.
It's our
I
retirement,
don't know if
honey.
you could see the rainbow when I started. So apparently we just started gold panning just a little bit too early. That's why we got so little.
Because we did it at the wrong time of day.
Yeah, because the rainbow wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
So what the girls are doing, we're filling bags, and I guess we're just going like this.
Sweet. Here we go.
Well, that's satisfying.
I know. Cool.
Lily, Layla's got more than you.
Well, she probably got more green in hers, too.
Quantity over quality, Lily.
Maybe I'm no different than the ones who are running all day. Well, I'm just searching for a peace of mind. And I'm just a traveler passing through for time.
Home sweet home. A successful day on the highway. Man, it's beautiful. Oh, there's little ducks down there. Come on, where's a moose? So we struck it rich. We got fireweed, and we learned a lot about the gold dredge. I really didn't even know that thing existed, so really fun day. We're gonna cook some steaks up, probably sit around the fire over there. What a good day.
I'm just searching for a peace of mind, and I'm just a traveler passing through for time.
You guys saw us picking fireweed last night at the end of our pretty epic day gold panning and going to see Top of the World Highway. Now we're going to take all those flowers and Anna's gonna teach the girls and I how to make fireweed jelly. Holy moly. This is official. Thanks for having us into your home. This is gonna be such a blast. So we literally just pulled, like we showed yesterday, all of the flowers off the stems, and she said we needed 8 cups. Step number 1, we have 4 cups of our fireweed and 4 cups of water, and Anna has them in a big pot, and you're going to boil them down until the color actually drains out of the fireweed. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So the recipe calls for cheesecloth to drain, but
We use Scott's rag in a box.
strain it all the way down, so just with the juice.
Now we're pretty much going to return the juice back to it. And then we're going to be adding the lemon juice. And now the important part is starting. Yes.
Someone's got to stir
So you
constantly,
guys-
so who wants to stir?
So you could do lemon and pectin. These two, they go first. The sugar will go after it starts boiling. So do the lemon
Lemon it up.
and pectin. And then stir very well. Then we're going to bring it to a rolling boil and we're going to add the sugar. So that's pretty much the main ingredient there. And then we're going to return it to a rolling boil for 1 minute exactly.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Look at that. It's like crazy pink looking.
So good. We'll make sure that we share the recipe in our newsletter that goes out with the video.
Finger tight?
Finger tight, yep, not super tight. And they go right in there.
Perfect.
First taste test.
Oh, that's good.
It is? Okay.
It's really, really yummy.
It's like candy.
It is like candy. It's so good.
That's so good.
What do you guys think it tastes like? Like, what is fireweed flavor?
Cherry black raspberry.
Alright.
Yummy. Did you just eat all of that? Yep.
Just eat all of it.
There's more?
Man, we have checked some amazing things off the list here with our friends outside of chicken, gold panning, fireweed jelly, and now we're off to the next adventure. Super grateful for Anna and Shaun and everything that they let us do here. We're headed off towards Fairbanks.
So much fun. So much fun.
Thank
you guys
you.
later.
We'll either see you again in here or we'll see you on the other side of the United States.
Yeah.
Bye.
You guys need anything?
We're gonna miss you. We got it.